let's bring in retired Air Force Brigadier General John Teichert. General Teichert served as the Air Force's Assistant Deputy Undersecretary for International Affairs from 2021 to 2022 and is currently a Republican Senate candidate in Maryland. Sir, it's good to have you this morning. I want to start with this. Israel has still yet to launch what once seemed like an imminent and inevitable ground war in Gaza. In your eyes, how much longer can they hold off on sending those troops in? And do you think this slow and small trickle of releasing 4 hostages is the reason for the delay?
Markie, I think it's important to realize that a full-scale assault is just a tactic. So is the threat of an assault. So are raids, and so are bombing strikes. And all of those things are there to feed into the objectives of Israel, which is ultimately the removal of Hamas as a threat to them, the release of the hostages, and a deterrent to those others in the region that would do Israel harm. And so we've got to separate the fact that they haven't undertaken a full-scale assault because they don't believe that it's in their objectives at this point to do so. And maybe or maybe not in the future, they will decide that it is in their best interest to achieve their objectives.
And talk about, when you talk about a ground war being a tactic, I mean, talk about the efficacy of that, because we've all been talking about it. Those of us outside of the conflict and those of us who are not well versed keep waiting for this ground war to happen, thinking that this is the way to end it. Once that ground war starts, these soldiers get the green light. I mean, is that a surefire way to eradicate Hamas off the map, or no?
Markie, it's extremely difficult to undertake the operation of urban warfare and hostage rescue. And right now, Israel is weighing those variety of tactics that they have available to them. And the best way that they can, number one, remove Hamas as a threat, and ultimately also considering the fact that they're trying to minimize Palestinian civilian casualties. And in doing so, they're juggling those various tactics to best achieve their objectives.
And General, as you know, on Tuesday, we saw Hamas try to infiltrate Israel by sea and increased fighting along Israel's northern borders with Lebanon and Syria. Do you think we're on the brink of this becoming a larger regional conflict?
Markie, we've got to constantly realize that Hamas has just not sat on their sidelines for the last 18 days. They have continued to undertake rocket strikes into Israel, and certainly Iranian-aligned groups like Hezbollah and those within Iraq and Syria continue to affect attacks in the region. And it's very possible that if America does not demonstrate a level of strength, capability, will, and resolve, then it just emboldens the Iranian supporters of those groups that would ultimately create chaos in the region.
Yeah. And obviously, you are military, you're former military. I wanted to talk to you about these troops that we've seen attacked. We've now seen reports that 13 attacks on U.S. military bases in Iraq and Syria last week injured 24 American service members. The Pentagon has linked the attacks to groups supported by Iran. But how should the United States respond to this kind of belligerence by Tehran, do you think?
Markie, it goes back to the idea that we've been appeasing Iran for the last 2.5 years, either through desperation to get back to the nuclear deal or with this horrible deal of hostages for hostages and $6 billion. And going back to the idea that the only thing that Iran respects is strength, capability, will, and resolve. We've got to take active action in the region, including strikes on those Iranian-supported groups, in order to regain the deterrence that we so desperately need in the region.
And just to quickly piggyback off of that, because I know we're almost out of time, I'm just curious your thoughts on the American response to this that we have seen, to the conflict, what we've seen come from the White House thus far. Do you think President Biden is doing all he can to stop the next World War or the next Cold War?
Markie, the fact that we have postured our forces in a deterrent situation is a good idea. But if we're not using those forces ultimately to protect our own troops through active strikes against those Iranian-supported groups, then we're just playing into this appeasement idea that emboldens Iran.
All right. Retired Air Force Brigadier General John Teichert, thank you so much for your time. We do appreciate it this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.